What is going on, garden fans? Welcome back to the Permaculture Homestead. In today's episode, I'm walking you around my front yard food forest, and as the year progresses, I'm going to continue to keep my front yard and backyard videos separate because they really are two totally different styles of gardening that I got growing on. In the backyard, it's permaculture style, a little unkept, a little wild, you could even say weedy. And the front yard food forest is a lot more manicured, a little more well maintained, so that it kind of blends into the surrounding environment, doesn't even look like I'm growing food. However, there's a lot of food out here and a lot to come this year. So come on back, check it out. If you haven't already, give us that thumbs up. Please like, share, and subscribe as always. It really helps us out. Enjoy the journey, and God bless. My wife and I live in small town, suburban USA, Zone 8, South Carolina, and we are doing our best to grow as much food as we can on this postage stamp that we call a home. We have about 2,000 square feet in the backyard of growing space, and I would say our front yard has about the same amount. However, we're not using it. We haven't pulled up the lawn completely and done a permaculture garden, but what we are doing is keeping basic landscaping principles in mind and using edibles as our landscaping elements. So everybody has this 4x4 box for their septic tank. I've decided to grow elderberry in the back, a tall shrub, and in the foreground we're growing smaller shrubs like pineapple guava. Everything here is thriving. There's a ground cover of mint, spearmint. So in this small 4x4 space, we've neatly put in a few edibles. The elderberry hedge does provide the front of our house a little bit of privacy. It provides us food, and it kind of blends into the landscape. It's not too crazy or too off the wall, or look too nuts or unkept. It just looks like a giant shrub in the middle of our home. Now I do keep the yard lawn, I mow the lawn out here. I keep the edges nice and clean like everybody else, but there is a bit of wildness here. These old boxwoods actually have a pile of wild blackberries growing on them. So we've taken this non-edible producing shrub, allowed the wild edible producers to grow over it, and in another month or so here, what we're going to have is a huge pile of blackberries that we can make jams with for the rest of the year. So we have blackberry back here, we have oregano as a ground cover, and we also have rosemary. And then there's just a few shrubs and trees back here that we got growing. One is an apricot, golden. This is a pomegranate, looking beautiful, fluffing out for the spring. We've gotten enough rain that this is really starting to put on some good growth. We have this nitrogen fixing autumn olive. And on the back row, we have the tallest element, the elderberry, which, as I've said before, will grow up really tall. Everything gets watered from the roof. We get water runoff, bloop, 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 dripping right down into this little L-shaped food forest here. And it blends in really nicely. I don't let it get too crazy, although it does still have a little bit of wild look to it. However, it's food, it's edible. My front yard is not now wasted with boxwoods that don't do anything, barely even flower and bring in pollinators. Here's another example where I've taken out an old boxwood and put in an autumn olive. So edible landscaping, that's all I'm doing back here. It looks a little bit different than my backyard food forest, a little more wild and unkept back there. Front yard, we try to keep it as well maintained as possible and try not to make any of the neighbors too angry. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed this quick little update. I'm going to continue to stay consistent with these because during the growing season, things change very quickly and very rapidly. We appreciate you all watching. As always, please like, share, and subscribe. It really helps us out. God bless.